Hello everyone and welcome to Cinderful Gaming. In today's video we're going to take a look at one of the many different warbands in Age of Sigmar Warcry. We're going to take a look at all the fighters available to this warband, what they do on the tabletop, the abilities the warband has, and how to build a foursome on the tabletop as well. Along with this we'll look at some interesting ally options as well for the warband. In today's video, we're going to take a look at getting started with the Hedonites of Slaanesh Sybarites in Age of Sigmar Warcry using the Hedonites of Slaanesh Vanguard box set. Today's video is sponsored by Gap Games, a fantastic miniature wargaming store in Queensland, Australia. They stock a wide variety of miniature wargames from all things Games Workshop to some of my personal favourites, Conquest, The Last Argument of Kings, and all things Modifius wargames as well. Use our affiliate code in the link below to help support both this fantastic store and the channel as well. Leading the box set is the Shard Speaker of Slaanesh. Fairly frail for a leader rune-marked fighter with just defense 3 and 18 wounds. The model does have a solid short-range shooting attack like most wizards in Warcry, which does a solid 6 damage with a critical hit. The leader rune-mark it has will allow the model to use a double ability called Violence and Excess. This ability can only be used if an enemy has been taken down by this fighter, this activation, and it will allow them to make a bonus move or bonus attack. The model's other rune-mark, the Mystic rune-mark, will give it access to a triple called Tendrils of Unnatural Smoke, which reduces the attack characteristic of all actions made by nearby enemy fighters. Our first unit of fighters are the Blissbarb Archers. These are fairly cheap ranged infantry. Like a lot of Slaanesh, they have fairly low toughness and they do only have 8 wounds as well, making them quite fragile. The minion rune-mark they have will give them access to a triple ability called Volley of Tearing Blades, which adds 2 to the model's ranged attacks. And in addition, if this model is near a fighter with the Slaanesh Sybarites and Priest rune marks, the model will also gain +1 strength. The High Tempter is the unit champion of the Blissbarb Archers. This model has 4 extra wounds than a regular Blissbarb Archer and the leader rune mark as well. This will give access to the Violence and Excess ability, and this is something any of your Sybarite and leader rune mark models will be able to use. Attack wise, its range attack has an extra attack and does an extra point of damage on critical hits compared to a regular Blissbarb as well. Lastly, for the Blissbarb Archers box set, we have the Blissbarb Homunculus. This model isn't much of a fighter and has just some low strength, low damage melee attacks and some defensive stats pretty similar to a Blissbarb Archer. What it does bring though is the Priest rune mark, making it an invaluable piece for getting the best out of your Blissbarb Archers. Next, we have a unit of Slangors. These mighty beastmen fighters are fairly expensive but do bring a solid toughness of 4 and 20 wounds to the table. In melee, they can pack quite a punch with 4 strength 4 attacks that do 2 damage each or 5 on a critical hit. The models also have the Ferocious rune mark. This gives them access to a double ability called Slaves to Impulse. This ability can only be used if there's an enemy fighter within 6 of them, but it will allow them to make a free move so long as they move directly towards said enemy. The Slangor Slakecorn is the unit champion of the Slangor fiendbloods. The model has a leader rune mark in addition to the ferocious rune mark Slangors have. It has an extra 5 wounds taking up to 25 and its damage is increased from 3 on its regular hit and the critical damage stays at 5. Lastly, for unit kits, we have a dual kit that can be built as 2 different types of cavalry unit. The first of these being Slick Blade Seekers. These are a dedicated combat unit that pack out some decent damage. They have the Mount rune mark as well as one might expect for cavalry, but they also have the Destroyer rune mark as well. This Destroyer rune mark will give them access to an ability called Impaling Strike, which can be used for a triple. This ability will allow models to do damage to an enemy they end a move within 1 inch of, equal to the value of the ability they use. The Slickblade Hunter Seeker is the unit champion for the Slickblade Seekers and has all the same rune marks as they do, with the addition, as is custom with this unit champions, to have the leader rune mark as well. The model, as is normal as well, has some extra wounds and a slightly better melee attack profile as well. The other option for the dual cavalry kit we have is the Blissbarb Seekers. As one might expect with the name, they're essentially Blissbarb Archers mounted atop the same mounts as the Slickblade Seekers. They have very much the same damage output as a Blissbarb Archer, and even the same minion rune mark as well to have their attacks boosted by the Blissbarb Homunculus. They have a nice 10-inch move and also a decent 20 wounds as well, making them much more survivable than their on-foot brethren. The Blissbarb Seeker High Tempter is a unit champion for the Blissbarb Seekers, and like most unit champions, it will gain the leader rune mark, has all the same rune marks as its units, in addition to having some extra wounds and a better attack profile. And so we look at our list, obviously playing with the Hedonites of Slaanesh Sybarites. For leaders, we've gone with the Shard Speaker and a Blissbarb Archer High Tempter. Fighter wise, we have 2 Blissbarb Archers to give us some extra shooting, and then a Blissbarb Homunculus to join them, a Slickblade Seeker, and 2 Slangor fiendbloods to give us some real big heavy hitters. Battle Group 1 will be our Archer group, and this will have the Blissbarb Archer High Tempter, Blissbarb Homunculus, and a single Blissbarb Archer. Battle Group 2 will have the Shard Speaker, and then we'll have 2 Slangor fiendbloods protecting her. And Battle Group 3 will have a Blissbarb Archer and Slickblade Seeker, a couple of models that can go and act independently. We hope that this video was helpful in getting you started with Warhammer Age of Sigmar Warcry, and that it was able to give you some ideas and inspiration to start your own force in the game. If you have any other questions at all, please comment them down below and we'll endeavour to get back to you. And while you're there, don't forget to drop a like, subscribe and join our Discord server as well, linked in the video's description, for all our future Warhammer Age of Sigmar Warcry content.